Well, India's most quietly ambitious tech company just had its loudest week yet. Arattai, ZOHO'S homegrown messenger, has exploded from 3,000 to 500,000 daily signups in just 72 hours, rocketing to number one on the App Store, nudging aside WhatsApp and Telegram. Former CEO and current chief scientist Sridhar Vembu recently said this: "We have done some speed improvements to the Arattai app. Please update from Play Store. We are also scaling the infrastructure rapidly and yesterday added over 2 million new users. Thank you all for the outpouring of love." End quote. Interestingly, we at AIM Network, especially the live and the broadcast team, are all using Arattai. I must say, it's actually a smooth experience. And while memes about how to pronounce Arattai flooding on X, well, I could have been one of those, something deeper is happening. Zoho is rewriting the Indian tech playbook, consumer and enterprise, AI and messaging, without a single rupee of venture capital. First came IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, publicly ditching Foreign Office software for ZOHO'S suite. Then Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, urging Indians to go Swadeshi and adopt Arattai, calling it free, easy to use, secure and safe. End quote. Within hours, Sridhar Vembu, ZOHO'S co-founder, tweeted a bold claim: "We are the only company in the world that can take on Microsoft in the breadth and the depth of the product suite." End quote. And the surge proved him right. 180 times spike in downloads, 40 times surge in daily active users, 350,000 plus installs in a single day at peak. All of this was extensively covered first here on front page. Well, this isn't political theater. It's actually the clearest signal yet that India's government is ready to back domestic platforms at national scale, from workplace productivity to everyday chat. 20 years ago, Zoho was a single web-based product. Today, it runs a 50-plus app universe: CRM, HR, finance, collaboration, cloud infrastructure, engineered from a rural campus in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu. No IPO, no VC, just patient compounding. Mani Vembu, now CEO, says that freedom from shareholder pressure is Zoho's ultimate edge. This is what he said: "We enjoy our freedom. We can invest 35% of revenue back into research and development and experiment without chasing quarterly targets." End quote. That patience is finally paying off. $1 billion plus in annual revenue, 100 million plus global users, and now the consumer breakthrough that India's previous Made in India hopefuls haiku could never really sustain. Well, don't go anywhere, because we have a very special surprise for our viewers today. Back to this week's buzz, which isn't just about, well, a WhatsApp rival. Behind the scenes, Zoho is quietly assembling an AI stack from silicon to software. Zia LLMs trained for business tasks, from 1.3B to 7B parameters today, with a 100B model on the roadmap. Speech recognition in English and Hindi. A no-code agent studio for enterprises to build AI workflows without sending data to third-party clouds. Mani Vembu explains why Zoho isn't chasing GPT scale, and this is how he does it. We right-size the model to the problem. Smaller, efficient LLMs means lower cost and faster time to value for customers. End quote. It's actually a contrarian bet and a strategic one. Over-reliance on foreign clouds has actually already exposed nations to sanction-related outages. A fully indigenous AI layer is not just patriotic, it's actually a national security asset. Zoho's secret weapon isn't a flashy Silicon Valley campus, it's a radical talent model. Zoho Schools training 12th standard graduates into engineers, which now accounts for 15% of the workforce. R&D hubs in Tier 2 and rural India. From Tenkasi to Kottagiri, the first Zoho school graduate now heads the company's Saudi Arabia operations. As Money puts it, talent exists everywhere. Opportunity does not. We create the ecosystem first and then scale. End quote. This shields Zoho from Valley style talent wars, giving its engineers the time to work on decade long bets like building LLMs from scratch. For years, India's startup scene chased fast VC rounds while Zoho very quietly built the plumbing of a global software powerhouse. And now, Arattai proves Indian consumer apps can break WhatsApp's monopoly. Zia proves India can build proprietary AI without renting from the West. Government adoption signals a shift from dependence to digital sovereignty. Arattai's Android TV app, its ad-free model, and Zoho's promise of interoperability like UPI signal a new chapter for India's tech ecosystem. This, well, isn't just a software rivalry. It's actually the blueprint for an Indian owned AI ready tech stack. One that could make Zoho the most valuable software company India has ever produced within the next decade. And now, as promised, here is that wonderful surprise. Joining us today is a man who needs, well, no introduction, the CEO of Zoho. Hello, Money. Welcome to Front Page. It's an honor to have you with us on Front Page.
Thank you, Sudhi, and thank you, Amit, for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here with us, sir. How does it feel to be on Front Page?
Yes, it's a lot of responsibilities, so we feel like right. The game is just getting started because we come from the B2B world where adoption is slow, but here the pace is accelerated. So we are really working closely to make sure that we scale with the demand.
Wonderful. So, Money, Arattai is actually topping the App Store. Government leaders are openly switching to Zoho, and analysts are calling you, well, the next most valuable software company from India. Just yesterday, you and your team met Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. We would really like to know, were there any interesting insights that you can actually share with our viewers from the discussion?
See, it's generally right. Say since the Arattai is taking off, and right, so we are supplying our software to some of the government agencies. So it's a general discussion on like say what is the next steps and how do we get prepared for right, say the surge in volumes. So and just to check whether we are ready for the volumes. And if you look at the say background, say if you see like say the messaging Arattai, what we are seeing the original tech we started in say around 2005-6 as the messaging. So the Arattai backend, which is the messaging platform, was actually started development in 2005-6, and then we have been that is the platform that powers entire Zoho ecosystem of apps. Whatever messaging that goes between applications and right, say all the others have been powered by that messaging, and the same messaging platform is being used by our Click, which is our internal organization wide communication platform. And the same is what we have actually given as Arattai. And that's why we could actually able to scale faster because it is only the infrastructure challenge. That means provisioning more servers and not a technology challenge from our side because the technology has been well tested. So we were preparing for an infrastructure update in November, but since surprisingly all this happened, so we are just accelerating those expansion plans.
It's no surprise, Money. I just, of course, have to ask you this. How are you processing this whirlwind? Does it actually feel like, the patient, quiet decades are finally paying off, or is it still sinking in?
I would say, like, say it's sort of sinking in, and we are also, like, say, practical in understanding that this is just a right start, and how we sustain this momentum, sustain this adoption, because in SaaS the usage is what matters
Hmm.
most. So that means not more than the revenue. We actually track the usage. So how many users are coming back? How many users are using the product? How many users are, like, say, really getting value out of the product? Because we are not here to produce shelfware. In software, most of the software doesn't get used, and in SaaS, if it doesn't get used, then people don't pay a subscription. And we have been in
Sure.
subscription for the last 20 years. So in that sense, we are watching the usage. So we are seeing how many meetings are getting created, so how the
Hmm.
usage sustains. And so we know this is just a starting, and we are very happy with the traction, but we also are cautious about, like, say, uh, going aggressive on the next steps in terms of development and updates to the app to sustain the momentum.
So very happy, but still a cautious, measured start. That's really encouraging to hear. So from 3,000 to 500,000 daily signups in 72 hours, and the count is only going up. What does this actually teach you about scaling, as you just mentioned a little while back, Money? And actually, do you turn a patriotic spike into a sustained daily use? How do you do that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so see, the when the spike happened, so initially, right, say, as I said, in November we planned a major announcement for Arattai, and then we were planning the infrastructure for that. Because right, so as we add more features, and
Sure.
right, so as we are getting the app ready for the next major launch, we thought, okay, we will increase the infrastructure also. But then all this happened, and so see, instantly we saw some of the teething issues, and we
Hmm.
could actually update the right, say, our platform faster, quick enough. And now the volume sustains. That means, right, say, from 5,000 to 350,000 to 2 million yesterday, and
Hmm.
today we expect the same amount of volume. And
Hmm.
we think the right, say, the OTP issues or other issues have
Sure.
been ironed, because as we are adding more and more infrastructure, the first 24 hours or 48 hours is to just to get a hold of how do we quickly add the infrastructure, because right,
Sure.
say, and then we actually found technical solutions to those, and then we are now adding it at a faster pace.
All right. So, well, those things have been ironed out. So, Zoho and Money and the entire team is all set for another 2 million downloads, and the figures are only going to keep going up, which is fabulous. Of course, now moving on, Money, I would like to understand, as far as the competitive edge is concerned, the you've clarified Arattai runs only actually on Zoho infra, not AWS or Azure. So the question is, how important is this for digital sovereignty, and how do you prove transparency on privacy as scale grows? Also, what are some of the challenges when it comes to setting infrastructure here in India, and how are you addressing them? Say, procuring of GPUs, or I'm just thinking aloud, or even making them for that matter.
Yeah. So see, the to be clear, so we procure the right, say, the servers from the market. That means the hardware is something we buy. So even the GPUs we buy, and we own them. And what we have built is the platform, that is the framework for hosting our application. That means in a SaaS, you always, like, say, go to a public
Hmm.
infrastructure as a service platform like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud to host your services. In our case, we have built it ground up. That's why I said, like,
Sure.
even the messaging framework has been built ground up, and we have been building this from, say, early 2004 5, right? So our first app was based on our own infrastructure as a service platform. And
Sure.
what we haven't done is we haven't opened it for other developers. So
Hmm.
since we ourselves have built, like, say, hundreds of apps both in Zoho and in Manage Engine, we
Hmm.
just, right, say, used it for our own internal development purposes. So that means the entire software stack, where we have messaging, where we have video audio processing, where we have, like, say, database handling, where we have, like, right, say, multi-tenant architecture. So all
Hmm.
those have been like say built in house. The entire software stack is being built in house, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
the reason why it is important is like say take a service like email, which is like say very resource intensive. So email is like say highly resource intensive service,
Hmm.
and then email is also a commodity. That like say we can't ask a premium, right? The customers don't pay
Sure.
a premium for email. If you
Sure.
have the email kind of service, then you have to be efficient, and that's why, right? Say we know from the beginning we want to actually offer email, and we also want to be efficient. That means if we have to do a cost effective email platform, then we have to host our own services rather than hosting in public cloud. So we can't rent and then we can't pay the rent for those services and then actually have a margin on these services. So
Hmm.
that's why we want to actually do the vertical integration from the beginning. So we want to own every part of the tech stack and build the efficiency there. So that actually builds a lot of efficiency. And think about it, like say now we have 100 servers, right? Hundreds of
Sure.
apps, and all reusing the same authorization and authentication instead of licensing the third party for authorization and
Correct.
authentication. We have built it in house, and the same is what used in Arattai. So for sending OTPs and others.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is the kind of same way messaging. All the apps use the same messaging platform. Now with AI, all the apps use the same AI platform. So which
Sure.
is in. So that means we are reusing all these components across these apps, and we are also opening our platform for third parties to build extension others and publish in our
Nice.
marketplace. We also use
Hmm.
the same infrastructure. That's the advantage we have.
Mani, you mentioned, I mean, very quickly, I just wanted to ask you this. You mentioned since 2004. So that means this philosophy of building from ground up has been at the bedrock of the philosophy as far as Zoho is concerned. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yes, you are right. Because
All
we
right.
want to, right, say see we don't look at business software problem as, oh okay, it's a sales problem or a service problem.
Hmm.
We from the beginning we looked out as it's a running the business problem.
Sure.
And that's why in managing we provide all the IT management solution. So from ITSM to network monitoring to server monitoring, and in Zoho we provide all the business software application. If you look
Hmm.
at both the brands, you have end-to-end applications available from Zoho, and Zoho runs on Zoho. All our 18,000 employees and our data centers are managed by managing applications, and entire
Hmm.
Zoho runs on Zoho. So that's been our goal from the beginning, and somewhere in 2009-10 we achieved that goal of running entire Zoho on Zoho, and it continues.
Wonderful. So that means data sovereignty has forever been at the cornerstone as far as Zoho is concerned. Coming back to Aratai, you are exploring UPI style open messaging protocols. What would success look like and why take this radical step? How is it different from, let's say, a WhatsApp? It actually would be great if you could shine the light on this.
So if you take the consumer space, there is a winner takes all kind of a model. The
Hmm.
reason is because things are mostly proprietary. And UPA could have, if there is no UPA, then it would have been the same in case of
Sure.
payments. And so, if say, for example, every country wants the sovereignty, and then they have to have their own apps, and there has to be a openness in the app ecosystem without any monopoly, then
Hmm.
this kind of interoperability actually matters a lot. So
Hmm.
in business software, that's why any new vendor is able to participate, and then if they are offering a good value to the customer, they are
Hmm.
able to actually right say sustain their business. But in
Sure.
consumer space, they are not able to sustain the business because it is not interoperable. So now, if we come up with a standard and we make
Hmm.
it interoperable, at least say a country like India where we have so much population, so much regional diversity. So there can be multiple apps, but each one, say, I can use Arattai, you can use WhatsApp, or you can use some
Sure.
other messaging app, and then we all can collaborate together without worrying
Hmm.
about, oh okay, what app we are using.
Hmm. 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 Fair
So
enough.
that's the, and we are proposing this, and we have to see like it's a right say initial discussion stage, and we have to see like say how well this is being received, and how important priority it is for to come up with a standard.
Fair enough. The Android TV Edge, well, also Aratai's Android TV app makes it, the only messenger on the big screen. How did that actually come about? And could it change user behavior as far as India's living rooms are concerned? Is that what was at the heart of this particular aspect?
So see, if you take Arattai, it is a consumer app, and say suppose you are having some birthday function in your home, and you want to, right? Say your parents are somewhere and they have to see it. So rather
Sure.
than seeing it in the mobile phone, if they connect it to Android TV and you just connect the meetings, because meetings is a unique feature in Arattai.
Hmm.
So where we tried to, right, say some of the meetings we want to actually bring into Arattai, and
Hmm.
so you can just watch it in the TV, and so you feel much more closer to the event rather than being like,
Nice.
say that's the whole idea, right? So we want to
Hmm.
make the experience better, because we know, like say in meetings for consumers, it is not about like say work. What we are doing now is not going to happen in a work environment. It is going to be
Hmm.
mostly like say projecting a function or a event, or right, say all those memories, and watching it in the TV will make a experience better. That's the idea.
Wow, wonderful. Mani, actually, I would like to ask you that what I could get a sense as far as that was concerned was the fact that you want to make that user experience so delightful for the end user. Are there any other facets that you might be bringing in? Like you said, meetings is unique. Are there any other things which are planned, probably from use cases in the past, or from the learnings, or for that matter, maybe feedbacks that you've received from the team, etc.? Would be very interesting for you to maybe shed light on that.
Yeah, see, we have plans for a lot of interesting stuff that, right, because a click has built as a platform. That means, like, right, say we allow external developers to build apps for click,
Sure.
and click is the internal messaging platform we have for businesses, and we want to bring some of those valuable, right, platform learning to Arattai, so that a lot of valuable applications can be built, and
Could you give
so
us a sneak peek on one of those? It would be interesting.
say I can't give a concrete example because it's
Fair
like
enough.
leaving.
But somewhere, maybe we
Yes.
can take a little guess at it.
Yeah. So yeah, I would leave it to users guess, because
Okay.
I want to keep the maintain the secrecy here, because these use cases are like say we want to be the first to launch it, so that's
Okay.
why I want to maintain that. Yeah, sorry for that.
All right.
Thank
I was just pushing you for maybe something extremely exclusive on front page, but I will of course continue in my effort to do so as we go along. Well, as far as building India's AI stack is concerned, you've revealed ZILLMs from 1.3B to 7B parameters with a 100B roadmap, all trained for enterprise tasks. Why is right sizing models and owning the entire AI stack a strategic moat for Zoho when everyone else is actually chasing giant open models money?
Yeah, see, if you look at the enterprise challenges, challenge within a business, it is very different from the consumer challenges. So, say the same what we have done with infrastructure as a service. Rather than opening it for the external developers, we focused on building our own products on top of it, and making sure, like, right, say we right size the infrastructure,
Hmm. Hmm.
and since we are bootstrapped, we also have to take care of the investment, right? So we are
Sure.
putting our profits back. So we have to actually grow with the revenue, grow with the profits. So rather than like, right, say heavily investing on the infrastructure and then catching up on the growth, so we do this way. And the same is what we are trying with LLM, right? And
Right.
in the early days, there are a lot of learnings on new use cases, what where it works, where it doesn't work, all those. We want to learn
Hmm.
all those with by right sizing the model, focusing on our customers, because we do have like say huge number of customers, like say 1 million customers. We are going to reach 1 million customers soon, and we
Hmm.
want to actually
Amen to that.
offer them the value first,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
learn from those experiments, and then say click we offered 10 years back and now Arattai, so anything can happen in future. So
Oh yes, and the future looks bright and shining money. As far as the long game is concerned, so without VC or IPO pressure, you have mentioned this. You have compounded quietly for decades. Do you still see going public as unnecessary, or could Aratai change all of that purely because of the sheer scale of it?
yeah, see, the we first thing is like say we don't need a capital infusion at this point of time because we are
Mm-hmm.
self-sustainable and we do have the capital for the expansion. So that is the first thing. And the other is like say how much experiment can we do, and say take an Arattai experiment or take our own office suite experiments, which have been
Hmm.
going on for last 20 years. So will public shareholder be happy with that kind of an experiment where there is no right? So there is no end goal, or right? Say there is no visibility on return on investment on
Hmm.
those investments, right? So even today, yeah. So how do we monetize Arattai? We don't have a concrete answer, and we don't even look for those answers. We do
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
right. Say we look at it as like, oh, okay. So how do we increase the usage? How do we make sure that the
My,
data?
that's amazing. Truly
Yes, yes,
amazing.
yes.
Hmm.
That's where we focus on, and these focus. And see, once you go on quarterly announcements, and so once you face the analysts, then it's going to be like say it changes, shifts your focus. Today, our
Sure.
focus is entirely on okay usage. Don't worry about revenue. So revenue will follow usage. So this is a message we give for internal product teams, and that can never be. And every quarter you can't announce something new. So we can't
True.
just right. Then we start to make decisions based on that reality and not the current reality. So that's where we want to stay away from that, and we want to, because we do see a lot of experimentation that's need to be done. We do see that a lot of learning opportunities are there. We do see like
Nice.
say we need to build a talent ecosystem, and that's where we want to put our focus on and our profits on. So and that's and so not anytime soon we are even thinking about those.
Money, what I could understand from that, well, my little takeaway from that is the fact that very grounded approach to ensure there is freedom of flight all the time. And also, more importantly, is the fact that when you mentioned that you're not really looking at how to monetize, etc., all of that, which means that there is uh, the entire energy is channeled towards the end user. That is the real aspect in terms of probably the takeaway or probably the sense of happiness that you have from it.
Yes, exactly. Right. So we look for usage, and if you look at our entire business model so far,
Mm,
99% of our business have come from inbound inquiries. That
mm,
means customers go to our site, sign up, and then they buy our products. So that's how
sure.
we have been selling our products. And so that means our focus is not in like, oh, okay, getting sales on the field and then knocking every door and trying to sell our products. Rather, we want to create the demand, we want to serve the demand, and we want to keep it organic too.
Hmm. Nice. So, Mani, it wouldn't be incorrect for me to say that why does one need outside capital when the real capital is coming from such a loyal and ever growing ecosystem of the users, if I've understood what you said and I've translated it right.
Yes, you are right.
Wonderful. ZOHO'S growth, actually, then that brings me to that point. It's a natural segue into that. And actually, now Arattai's consumer success would make any company a stock market darling. So, do you see a scenario where you tap the public markets in, well, maybe the next decade, or is staying private still non negotiable? And why?
Yeah, so far it's non-negotiable for us. And as I said, we are in this for a long game, and we want to invest in a lot of technologies. We want to bring the expertise, build the expertise. So we want to learn by doing. So because we don't, some of the learnings we can only do by doing it. So actually doing and
Fair
failing, and
enough.
yeah. So that's why I don't think we have any plans in the near future.
Wonderful. As far as scale is concerned, US remains your largest market money today. But India is obviously catching up and it's doing so very fast. So, at the current growth rate, when do you kind of see India overtaking, well, the United States for Zoho? And how would that reshape your product roadmap and investment priorities? Very important question.
Yeah. So see, if you in the next decade, we see that based on the India's current growth, India is going to be a large market for technology. So we are already seeing that. So we saw that with UPI, the adoption, and So in terms of our investment, already we are investing heavily in India. So if you look
Mm-hmm.
at our enterprise and mid market momentum, we started in India. So the SMB push started in US, but the mid market push started in India, and we won a lot of large customers in India, and we are learning that, and then we are actually replicating that model across the
Money,
globe.
would you be kind enough to maybe just give some numbers, or for that matter, give some clues as far as that is concerned for our viewers? It would be nice if you could just maybe shine the light on that. When you talked about huge investments that you're making, you've won companies here in India. It would be nice for our viewers.
Yeah, see that in terms of investments, see, we have added like say regional sales across India. So we have now regional presence across India, and then we are investing on India specific products. Like for example, Arattai is India first, and
Hmm.
then right, so we have done a POS which was India first. So we have
Hmm.
done like say GST launch which was India first, right? So
Hmm.
GST 2.0 we are ready now. We have already supported it. So like that, in terms of R&D, in terms of our sales and marketing, we have been investing like say very heavily on the right on the marketing and the on the field support and service side. So
Sure.
where we are setting up regional support centers across India.
Okay. So, well, clearly the philosophy is to have India first as a philosophy. As far as the product philosophy goes, Mani, Zoho's early culture of very patient execution is often credited to your brother, Kumar's influence and his philosophy that, and I will quote this, the hare can win, the tortoise can win, but not trying never wins. End quote. How does that mindset continue to shape Zoho's strategy today, especially as you scale AI and consumer products like, well, Arattai?
Yeah. So see the entire leadership, who is now we are a decentralized company and we have leadership across different functions of the tech stack. And right, the entire leadership actually were mentored by Kumar. So in the early period, right? So he mentored us, and during that time, say our the ecosystem is like say none of us may not be aware of a lot of technology. Like the reason is because it's all new in 1996. I'm talking about.
Hmm.
That means the only option is to learn and do. So, for example, so to write a software product documentation. So there is no ready-made talent that will be available in the market. So that means someone from us has to learn and then train somebody and then get them on to speed. And
Nice.
even so, a lot of people may not even join for that role because that role is not well defined in the market.
Sure.
So our first documentation writer was front office, right? Say a person who was working there, and we moved her and trained our software and then asked her to write the documentation. So similarly, everything. So if you don't know, the option is to learn. So that's
Nice.
how we have been, right? Say trained. So there is no like formal training courses. Rather, it is like say doing, learning from doing, and that's what we actually, right? Say did with Zoho schools also, where
Hmm.
we train them on practical skills and then we absorb them in the team and they learn by doing. So by learning by doing, you also like say make decisions. Every day you make some
Yep.
decision. Or should I write this code this way or that way? And you fail and then you learn. So those learnings are more sustainable and that also gives an experience. So and say for example the right the people the leadership that worked on Arattai has been with the company for like say more than 20 years. So
Wow.
they worked with certain problems, then they moved into this messaging, and then they stay on messaging problem for last 20 years. Same
Hmm.
way, today we announced something, right? Say a new visual collaboration platform called
Hmm.
Vani.
Hmm.
And if you look at the team that worked on Vani, so they were the ones who created the Zoho show, which is our presentation platform.
Nice.
And so that means, right? Say it's the same continuous learning that happens, and then we identify new market opportunities, and so they continue to do that, right? Continue to learn and do. So, and that's the part of our culture now. So we don't actually know any other way of doing things. You only know like, oh, if you don't know, go and learn and do. That's what we know.
That's beautiful, Money, and of course, speaks volumes about yeah, the fact that so much of confidence is given to everyone. It's okay to make mistakes, but the fact is, at the core of it all, is the learning. And do you believe? I have to ask you this: do you believe that that is the true strength in terms of the pillar of strength as far as Zoho is concerned for a statement like, well, we are the only company that can match the depth and the breadth as far as the Microsoft suite is concerned. Is that where that clarion call is coming from, Money? I would love for you to share that with the viewers.
Yeah, so the definitely right. That's been the strength because we know a lot of these technology challenges are not like can't be solved within a year or two. So it requires
Sure.
long lot of time to learn and do it, and that means right. Say we have to invest that time, that effort, and so if we keep a deadline, right, say a time bomb on each of the success or the failure, then we are not never going to experiment new ideas. So, and then if we keep punishing the failures, so we are
Hmm.
never going to experiment on new ideas. Nobody will be willing to experiment. So the Vani, which I talked about today, was an experiment. It started as an experiment. It is
Hmm.
open for internal use. Then we actually productize that. So that's how
Nice.
we tend to do things. If somebody gets an idea, so they go and experiment, and then so we don't actually hold them responsible for any failure as long as they put the effort and they tried hard. So we just encourage them to try and learn because we look at it as a journey and not a destination. That means like it's a learning journey. So your initial
Nice.
experiments fail, that learning will actually help you in doing something else better in future, and we never know when that future will arrive.
Wonderful. And clearly, Money, it's because of that philosophy that the magic keeps happening at Zoho. Money, of course, I have to ask you this. A lot of people, as we are live in our chat, are asking about end to end encryption. Sridhar has already said you had planned it for October end, but with this sudden vertical takeoff, you're now speeding it up. So, can you maybe please share how soon users can expect full E2 EE across chats, calls, and video on Arattai?
Yeah, so the calls is already there,
Okay.
and that we already give a option. So it is by default we have disabled it, but we have given a private chat option where once you enable it, then it is actually end-to-end encrypted. So, but that's what we are wanting to make it as default, and for
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do some more work for it to scale, and that's what we are working on. The team is working on, and we are on
Mm.
it. It's the highest priority for us, and
Sure.
soon we'll announce the update once it is ready for the scale.
Okay. Well, Mani, I would like to ask you as far as your message is concerned. One, two, I would like to ask you what is the future looking like as far as Zoho is concerned.
So the say in terms of Zoho, yes, we are um, the right the whole the tech stack, whatever we are working on, we need to ensure that it scales. And right, so as far as Zoho is
Nice.
concerned, so we have to scale for the volume because as we are getting into consumers,
Mm-hmm.
so that's right. Say that's our top priority as far as Zoho is concerned now. And there are going to be a lot of challenges that's going to come, and we are ready to solve it because we have the capability today. And I feel there is a good opportunity in the market because we are digitizing at a rapid pace, and we also believe that there are a lot of unique challenges for India as
Nice.
a because we are not a like we can't just plug and play some other solution from some other country that can work for us. So we have to find a local solution for our own problems. And with this, I think the focus will shift to more and more solving local problems, and we want to actually focus on those, and we want to enable the right say enable solution building at scale with our platform. So that's our future goal.
Mani, we're going to take a short little break and we're going to be coming back. But before we do that, I have to say this to you. We really want to thank you so very much, Mani, for your insights. Finally, just want to say this. While Arattai may mean a casual chat in Tamil, what you and Zoho has started, Money, is a conversation that could actually change the course of Indian technology. We wish you and the entire team at Zoho from AIM Network all the very best for now and forever.
Yeah. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Sudhi, for having me, and thanks for viewers. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, that was the CEO of Zoho, a man who is been brilliant at the core, at the epicenter of this wonderful little flight that has taken off. And this is what we at AIM Network believe. Arattai isn't just topping charts. It's actually a reminder that India doesn't need to borrow belief from anywhere else. From a campus in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu, to millions of devices across the globe. Zoho has shown us what patience, principle, and people can achieve. This moment is actually bigger than one app. It's proof that India can chart its own digital future, build its own AI stack, and stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. This is more than just an app. It's India proving we can build, we can lead, and more importantly, we can dream on our own terms. Well, we're going to take a short little break and we're going to be back with lots more on Front Page.